downloaded the Guidebook app. This little dinosaur wants you to download him right now so you can take a picture of that. And search for Guidebook in your phone's app store if you need to. You want to go to the Bloomsburg University of Pennsylvania Office of Admissions guide. We're using their guide today, and you should be able to see then some of the things that that you'll be doing today, depending on what type of student you are. So we're going to go over what's going on for particular groups here in just a second, but I'm going to leave this QR code up on the screen for another couple seconds and change the slide in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ready and go. Okay, so this will give you kind of a glimpse of what it should look like once you have downloaded the Guidebook app. You want to click on Schedule of Events, and that should take you to the place where you can see what you are going to be doing today. So we have a couple of different tracks happening. So there'll be, for our first time in college students, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are very excited to see you as well as everyone else. So our schedule for first time in college students for today, we're going to hear some student services at BU. You'll hear from financial aid and from the Office of Health and Wellness. Then you'll go to your HOWL group with some of our fantastic student leaders. You'll get connected with some other students and learn about some of the different technological platforms that we use here at Bloomsburg that you'll be using in your day-to-day life as a student once you arrive here. Then we have a bit of a lunch break for the first time in college students, and then the academic conversations, they begin at 12:30, sorry. That's the opportunity that you'll have to meet with the faculty member that is connected with your major and schedule some classes. So that's one really important part of today, that after our session, after everybody has, had the opportunity to meet and talk about some campus services, that you will actually be able to interact with your schedule a little bit. For our transfer students, the schedule is slightly different. So this is why we use Guidebook to keep you kind of on the right track. So for transfer students, we'll all do the student services at BU together. Again, that's financial aid and the Office of Health and Wellness. Then you'll go to your HOWL group, and then you'll go to academic conversations, again, linked with the major that you are coming into Bloomsburg with. The transfer student track is a little different because while we know that you are new to Bloomsburg, you're not new to college, but I want transfer students to hear that if you have any questions about Bloomsburg particularly, please ask your HOWL, make that HOWL group kind of what you need, whatever questions you may have, understanding again that you have kind of done the college thing before, but you haven't done it here at BU. So if you have questions about Bloomsburg, please ask your HOWL, and transfer students, kind of utilize those student leaders to help answer your questions about Bloomsburg. So for our academic conversations, again, those are the sessions where you're going to be interacting with your schedule and with a faculty member. There will also be HOWLs in those groups that you can ask questions about classes and professors. You will need your Husky ID. That's the beginning of your email, right? So the letters and numbers that begin your huskies.bloomu.edu email, and you'll need your password. So if you have that information kind of stored in an email somewhere, make sure you have it handy so that you can access it during those academic conversations. And just because you are joining us virtually today doesn't mean that you don't get any swag. You are going to receive a swag bag in the mail from our office in a few weeks so that you will be able to join the Husky family in style. You'll get some interesting stuff and a nice little string bag. So it's really fun. I enjoy the swag. So please don't worry, you're going to actually be able to access those things as well. Don't worry about being virtual, you still get a swag bag. Okay, so some important reminders that I want to go over before we move on today. So move-in begins August 15th. That is, if you are a learning community student, you'll move in on August 15th. You'll probably get a move-in date from housing. If you've gotten a date from housing that you just can't do. You've got a root canal that day and you just can't move it. Make sure you get in touch with the housing office and they can accommodate you, get you a different move-in time, try to figure out when you can come to campus that's most convenient to you. So move-in begins August 15th. Unless you are a Jumpstart student, those students move in early, August 8th. So I just want to eliminate any confusion about that, but most students will be moving in on August 15th if you're not in any special programs. And throughout that week, we will be moving students in to various areas on campus. So watch your student email. If I have to repeat anything today, it's that a lot of important communication is going to be coming to you through your Husky email. So please keep checking your Husky email. That's the main way that we communicate with you. So that's an important piece of all this. So once we start moving people in, Welcome Week begins August 18th to the 22nd. Welcome Week is a gigantic party. Yes, of course, there are some academic components because the point of Welcome Week is also to get you prepared to begin classes on August 23rd. But we're going to have tons of social activities, new traditions. You'll get to meet the Howells. It's really a fun time to get you connected to the campus and the university and to each other, to really start us off on the right foot. So that runs from August 18th. That's a Wednesday to the 22nd. That's the day before classes begin. So there will be some academic components, but a really good social good time getting you ready to begin classes on the 23rd. Also, we have the Before BU course that opens July 5th. So you may have heard of this already. If you haven't, that's okay. So in a couple of days, actually, since we're nearing the end of the month, you'll be able to access the BU Bolt course. So Bolt is our learning management system, and that sounds super intimidating, but that is the thing that we use. You're probably familiar with something similar from your high school. That's what your professors are gonna be using to communicate with you about classes. So if it has anything to do with your classes, with your academics, it's probably going to be on Bolt. It's where we house our grades, where you can submit assignments, where your professors will post things, so post assignments and post lectures for you to watch. Even though we are going to be face-to-face, Bolt is a pretty heavy component of our academics here at Bloomsburg. So we want you to be able to practice that throughout the preparation. We're not giving you homework for the summer. We want you to enjoy your summer, but we don't want you to end up in your class on the first day and not have any idea what Bolt is. So the BU Bolt course, say that 5 times fast, will allow you to get in there and practice some of those things, work through a couple of assignments and figure out how things work before you arrive. So that opens July 5th. We have also been doing a bunch of webinars over the summer. What this does, and the Before BU Bolt course and the Zoom with Blooms, they are designed to give you the opportunity to interact with a lot of different areas on campus and not have this orientation last 8 hours. So a lot of these Zoom with Bloom webinars are the different areas on campus so that you can talk to faculty and maybe even other students about different majors and different areas. So we're actually doing a Zoom with Bloom on the Jumpstart program next Wednesday. Those, if you miss them, it's fine. They're housed on the orientation website, so you can view those recordings and learn about a lot of different things on campus. But if you can attend the webinars, I really recommend them. They're super casual and laid back, and it really is a great opportunity for you to ask questions. And finally, once we are done today, you will be emailed a survey and guidebook. We are really interested in figuring out what we can continue to improve on. We want to know what you really enjoyed. We want to know what went well. But we also want to know if something didn't go so well so that we can continue to improve your experience here with the new student orientation. So please take a couple of minutes. It probably takes less than 5 minutes to do our survey so that we can get some information about what your day was like and how we can improve. Okay, so I'm going to move on to social media.
Rebecca, I have a quick question before you continue.
Ma'am. Sure.
Would you be able to put the guidebook up once you're done, the QR code, just for a couple seconds? Yeah, there's a couple students needing it.
Okay, let me go back right now since we're just about to do social media.
Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for Thanks for butting in. It's good. There is our fabulous little QR dinosaur. I can leave him up for a minute. And we can talk about social media. I'm sure that many of you are on social media. So is Bloomsburg. We have an Instagram. We have a Snapchat. We have actually many Instagrams. Instagram has become kind of a popular platform. And we also have Facebook pages. So I know that it's possible that there are some supporters out there in the audience watching our presentation today with your student. So I want to emphasize that the things that you might see on social media have a couple of different purposes. So I'm going to navigate back to that in just a second. I'm hoping everyone had time to access our little dinosaur. I'm going to move forward with the slides. There we go. Okay, so social media at Bloomsburg is super popular and we love to be in touch with you in this way. We have a TikTok. Our house really like TikTok. I got to experience TikTok during our in-person orientations. It's super fun. But I want to emphasize that the information that you might get, for instance, on a Facebook page is we must take with a grain of salt, right? So it's social media and it's a great way for us to get connected with other students and other supporters and talk to each other, but it's not official communication. Oftentimes what will happen, particularly with Instagram, is that an office will say, you know, they'll throw up a photo and say, this event is happening or this thing happened. Look at your email or look at the website for more information. So I just want to emphasize that the social media connection portion is great, but the way that Bloomsburg actually officially communicates with you is primarily through our website and through your email. So if you're on the Facebook page and you read something like, on Mondays, all the students at Bloomsburg dress up like superheroes to go to class, and you go, wow, that's really interesting. Take that with a grain of salt. If you want to do that, that's fine. You know, dress for the job you want, but official communication will come from the email and come from our website. So yes, please use social media. You can find out lots of stuff about what's going on campus using social media, but keep in mind that it's not an official communication. Okay, I think I'm early. Yes, Kayla?
Yeah, but not too bad. You're good. You're doing
Okay.
okay.
So we can take a couple minutes, yeah?
Yes.
Stretch, go get a beverage. It's coffee time for me. And in a couple of minutes, we will see you back here for student services. It's BU. What time, Kayla, can we take a little break or not?
It does start at 9:30. So
It
yeah,
does start at 9:30. Oh,
yeah.
so I am on time. Cool.
Yeah. They
All
can
right.
stretch and grab coffee real quick though if they'd like.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we're going to start our student services then, since I am actually on time. We're going to start with the financial aid and student billing offices, two very important areas on campus. And they're going to give you some information.
Good morning. My name is Amanda Kishbaugh. I'm the Director of Financial Aid, and I'm joined by Kathy Haddisty, who's the Director of Student Billing. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just a moment. There we go. All right, so first off, we wanted to give you our contact information. So that way, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. Really, in a setting like this, we can't go into depth on any questions that you might have because financial aid and billing really tells a story about your family situation, not only your financial information, but your family situation. So we try to respect your privacy, and we'd rather go more in depth with you by having you contact our office directly. So you can set up a Zoom or phone appointment if you have any specific questions that you would like to go over, and you can do that by emailing our office. Our email address is here on this screen, and then Kathy's email address for student billing is now located on your screen. So feel free to reach out to us with any questions. If you do happen to be on campus, feel free to stop in and visit. We are located in that new Arts and Administration building. So we're both in the same building now, which makes it very convenient for students. So a couple topics that I wanted to bring up today. The first being verification. Verification is a process where a fair number of our students are selected by the federal FAFSA processor. It does not mean that you've done anything wrong, so please don't panic. Really, it's just a process where Bloomsburg has to double check that information you provided on the FAFSA. So we would have notified you through BU email, which is really important. I know I heard Rebecca mention that BU email is a key area that you need to be checking multiple times a week. That is our primary way of communicating with you from both financial aid and student billing. So if you're not checking that, you could be missing out on some really important information. Now, if you were selected for verification, again, you would have been notified and you can log into our portal, which is a secure portal to do that verification. We also have a to-do list item out in your MyHusky account. So if you can't find that email, but you can get into your MyHusky, if you see a financial aid request, that means you need to go to our secure portal to view the items that are needed from us. Now, please note that we cannot disperse federal financial aid, including Pell Grants, direct loans, and even work study, unless you complete the verification process if you were selected. Now, we know a lot of things have changed, especially the last year or two due to COVID. And so we wanted to make you aware that there is a special condition process available for families who have had a significant reduction in income. Now, this could be due to COVID or just any other circumstance, another illness, a death or disability of a parent, anything that would significantly reduce your income by at least 20% compared to that 2019 tax information that you shared on that FAFSA. We do have an electronic option, and that is our preferred method. Again, out in bloomu.verifymyFAFSA, that's the secure portal for both special condition and for verification. We also have a paper form available for anybody who's not quite as comfortable with technology. Please note that it does take some time once you turn these documents in, as it is for all financial aid processes. They're not instant. And so you have to give us time, and especially during a high processing time of the summer, it could take 2 weeks until we can review your information. So it's important to turn in any documentation in that is requested as soon as possible to allow time for appropriate processing. Now, I mentioned work study in terms of federal financial aid. Work study can be federal or it can be school funded. So we get a lot of students asking questions about this program right now. So we wanted to throw in a slide about this just to answer some questions that you might have. We do post jobs out on our website. So if you haven't viewed our website yet, and I'll just throw out the caveat that it is in the process of being updated and changed. So you may log in today and it could look completely different next week. But just look around and we will have that work study information there available to you. It is the student's responsibility to find a job. So at Bloomsburg, we do not assign positions. And if you are interested, you will contact the supervisor listed on that job announcement for information. And a lot of times they'll have you set up an interview, maybe even submit a resume or cover letter, depending on the type of job that they are hiring for. At that point, that's when the paperwork would begin. So there's no application up front other than doing that initial FAFSA form. And once you are hired, then there will be some additional paperwork. It's really key to remember that work study is not deducted from your bill. So once that paperwork is completed after you've been hired, you would see a financial aid award for work study, but that is really just the allocation where your paycheck comes from. You are paid bi-weekly based on the hours that you work. The maximum that you can work is 20 hours per week during a regular semester. And if you're a local student and are here during the winter or the summer and are not taking classes, you could work up to 37.5 hours, depending on the needs of your department. There's no guarantee of work study, and it's not mandatory. So again, this is just an optional program that would give you the chance to earn some spending money. I also like to throw in a little bit about satisfactory academic progress here, which I know a lot of people will be confused. Why are we talking about what I need to do to keep aid when I haven't even started yet? But it's important to realize that there are requirements for not only earning the number of credits, but also the GPA that you have to maintain in order to keep your financial aid. So starting out right away, you're required to earn at least 2/3 of all credits attempted. This is evaluated at the end of each spring semester. So even that first academic year that you're enrolled at Bloomsburg, you have to earn 2/3 of all the credits that you attempt. Then, in addition, after the end of your second academic year, you have to have a 2.0 cumulative GPA. These are cumulative, so they start from day one and are evaluated on an ongoing basis at the end of each spring semester. And you will continue to have that number of credits and GPA requirement throughout your time at Bloomsburg. And again, this applies to federal financial aid, so the Pell Grant, direct loans, even Parent Plus loans, and work study. Now, if you are a PA state grant recipient, you have additional requirements where you must earn at least 12 credits for every full-time semester of award received from them. So depending on the type of aid that you receive, you may actually have 2 different requirements in terms of the number of credits that you are required to have. If you find yourself in a situation where you're not earning the credits, maybe you have to withdraw or you failed something, please contact our office so that we can discuss with you how that can affect your financial aid, as well as what you need to do to get back on track. So Kathy, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Hadisty. I'm the Director of Student Accounts. And our student billing office, as Amanda mentioned, we are also undergoing a revamp or a redesign of our webpage. So if you go out there, it could look different today. They're hoping to have a lot of that stuff done this week. So just be aware of that when you're looking at the webpage. The student billing office is responsible, of course, for any billing to the student account. You can find information for our payment plan if you need to sign up for that out on our website, as well as information about the student login, policies and procedures, and the parent supporter connection that we'll talk about in just a minute. One of the things that you'll hear either today or you'll hear when you get to school, or your parent or supporter may hear when you call into our office, is what's called FERPA. FERPA is the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, and it's very similar to HIPAA for medical purposes. And what it essentially means is that even though you as a parent or supporter may be assisting your student with paying their bill, you cannot talk to someone in the financial aid office or the student billing office until your student has granted access to that information to us. So what they actually do is they go out on their student MyHusky account, and there is a FERPA form out there. And they complete the form, it gets loaded to their student account so that when you call into our office, we will refer to that information to make sure that we can actually talk to you. It is a federal regulation. It is not established by Bloomsburg University. So we are adhering to federal regulations. So we'll look at that form. The student control can grant you access. They'll put what your name is, the relationship, and it can be anybody they want to have access to their financial information. But we do refer to that when you call in both the student billing office and the financial aid office. Now, I mentioned before about the parent supporter connection. As Amanda mentioned, we do contact students via their BU email address as the official form of communication for the university. So anytime we send out an email about anything related to billing, whether it's that we're doing billing, that we're going to be issuing the 1098-T tax forms in January, refunds are going to be issued, or financial aid is going to begin processing. Whatever we're sending is a general information email to the students. You can also sign up for those general information emails by going to our site. You put in your email address, so it will send you that general information email. Again, it's not going to be specific to your student, and some of the emails that you get may not even apply to your student, but it's a way for you to go out there and say, oh, I got this email today. Hey, it says your billing's out there. Can you please actually go out and get your billing statement for me so that we can make payment on your account? Now, before we talk about the MyHusky payment plan, a lot of you are probably wondering when your fall billing statement will be available. Fall statement should be available by mid-July. We are waiting until after the beginning of our academic year, which begins next week. It'll be probably around the first or second week in July. You want to check your BU email address. We will notify students as soon as that information is available to them. It is a statement that includes all of your charges that are out there at the time of billing. And if you've completed your financial aid and fully accepted it, that will also show as anticipated or pending financial aid on the statement itself. Now, please be aware that if you have not completed everything, you're not fully scheduled for 12 to 18 credits, you have not been assigned or placed into housing if you've selected that, or if you have not selected a meal plan, if those charges are not on your first billing statement, you may need to refer to additional billing statements in order to see what your total charges are. That's the billing statement that comes from your MyHusky account. We also have what's called, that we're rolling out for fall, the One Bill. And the One Bill will show all charges once they've been posted to your student account. It's something that you can submit to your TAP program, or if you have a scholarship, or even at the end of the semester, that you can use as a reference for what was actually paid and submitted for financial aid. On the MyHusky account, you can find a tutorial page on the login page. On that tutorial, it will walk you through everything you need for the student MyHusky account. On that, you can go through and look at how to make payments, how to sign up for direct deposit. If you have overpayments on your student account, it will also walk you through how to find your other forms, how to sign up for your FERPA, and all of those things are available on the tutorial page, as well as students are notified again through their BU email address. And I just realized I forgot to talk about the payment plan. We do offer a payment plan. It is by semester. It is $35 per semester. As soon as we open up the billing statement for fall, the payment plan will also open. So again, watch your BU email address for that information. If you sign up in July, your payments begin in August. It is a 4-month plan. Again, if you wait until September to sign up, you only have 3 months, October 2, and November, you would be making one payment under the payment plan. On the MyHusky view, when you scroll into your dashboard, if you look at the Finances tab, you can scroll through there to see what you owe, count activity, if you have any charges and invoices. That would be out there for the regular invoice. The One Bill invoice will be below this information, but in the same section. Again, that would be for for total charges and payments, financial aid dispersed to the student account. You can also sign up for your student permissions. When your 1098-T form is available, you can view that from here, and any direct deposit accounts that you sign up for overpayments. As Amanda and I both mentioned, you want to make sure that you regularly check that BU email address, as it is the official form of communication. You just want to make sure you check that on a regular basis. Get those emails to your parent or supporter if they need those in order to do business with the office. Again, sometimes if you miss a communication and you're not paying attention, or you're not responding to us in a timely manner, there are deadlines for certain things. And sometimes, particularly if we're dealing with the federal government on items, if those deadlines pass, we may not be able to assist you, particularly if you've not completed information for financial aid with Amanda's office for verification or disbursement of your financial aid. So you want to make sure you keep up on those BU email addresses. Another option that you may have for parents and supporters is on the student login page, there is a guest user access. And that guest user access is your portal into your student's account. And under that, your student controls everything. They grant you access via their login, and that is under the student finance section. But they go in, they grant that access. They can grant you access to see whatever they want you to see, whether it's grades, financial aid, the billing information. They control all of that. They send you a URL with your password and your login credentials. You can then go in and view that information. You can see exactly what we see in the billing office, so that when you call in, we are kind of on the same page when you're looking at the account, and we can walk you through everything. Again, as Amanda mentioned, there's information available on their webpage. We're also, the financial aid offices on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And that is all I have for right now. Thank you very much, and welcome to Bloomsburg University.
Thank you all. Appreciate the information. We're going to transition to the health and wellness folks. So Christy, are you here? And do you need me to share my slides, or would you prefer?
I have it ready to go. I just have to, share the screen.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Happy Saturday, Huskies. My name is Christy Hammaker, and I'm Bloomsburg University's health and wellness educator. And today I'm going to show you a little bit about our health and wellness area, all the resources and everything that are available to you. So hopefully you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes. Yeah, we can.
All right. Just wanted to make sure. So health and wellness is a big deal. It may seem like just something that's on the side. You're worried about your classes and roommate and things like that right now. But health and wellness is very important, because if you're healthy and well, you're going to be able to go to class, engage with your class and the faculty, complete your assignments in a timely manner, and really just, enjoy your experience overall. So we want to make sure that you're aware of the resources that are available. And health and wellness is known as Healthy Husky at BU. And so these are all of the resources for health and wellness. And I encourage you to take a screenshot, as this has a lot of really good information on it as far as our locations, phone numbers, website address. Additionally, we're on all of the social media apps: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Tumblr, and we're looking into TikTok as well. And again, it includes the health center, the counseling center. I'm the health and wellness educator, and I work with Marguerite Hahn, who's in charge of our alcohol and other drug prevention and intervention services. So you might notice that you have a health and wellness fee on your bill. That covers everything that we offer pretty much through all of our Healthy Husky resources. And you'll hear more about this when Kim with the Health Center talks to you next. So as I said, I work with Marguerite Hahn, and together we actually co-advise our peer educators, which I'll talk about in a minute. Marguerite oversees the prevention and intervention services. And if a student would unfortunately violate a code of conduct, they go through a program with her. But then we also offer support groups for people in recovery. And we're offering different workshops around stress management, resiliency skills, and just getting back to being connected to each other after the past year and a half. Then there's the Student Counseling Center. It is called the Center for Counseling and Human Development. So when you go to the office, that's what you'll see outside the door, but we just call it the Student Counseling Center. And they're really here for providing short-term counseling for students. If you have stress management problems, anxiety, depression, roommate issues, relationship issues, they are professional, it's confidential, and they are also connected to a lot of resources and can do referrals. But what I want to add is that if you are seeing a psychologist, psychiatrist, or a counselor at home, you want to keep that relationship going because of your long-term care and keeping it consistent. So what you want to think about over the summer is how you're going to have those appointments. If you're going to do telecounseling, if you're going to make appointments for when you're home for breaks, or perhaps on a certain day of the week when you don't have too many classes. So as I mentioned earlier, we have peer health educators, and this is a work study position. And honestly, we're rebuilding because a lot of our PAWs have moved on to graduate work or have graduated and already started careers. So the PAWS stands for Peer Assisted Wellness Services. Again, they're work study students and we train them. You get a national certification. You learn a lot about different health and wellness topics, and you don't have to have a health related field of study. You can really be from any field of study here at BU. And it gives you a paycheck, but more than anything, you get some great experience educating, motivating, and advocating for health and wellness. If you were ever part of Students Against Destructive Decisions in high school, this would be a great organization for you to join here at BU. So now I'm going to open up the mic for, well, Kim can open up her mic. Kim Zaleski from the Health Center is going to tell you a little bit more about those services.
Hey, so good morning. Good morning. I am Kim Zaleski, one of the nurses who works in the Student Health Center here at Bloomsburg University. And this morning, I just want to review some of the highlights of the Student Health Center. We are located in room 324 in the Care Union building. Students find us we are right next to the Husky Eatery. So follow the food in the Care Union and you get to the health center. During the fall and spring semesters, we're open 8 to 6, Monday through Friday. And currently in the summer months, we're open 8 to 4 and Monday through Friday. And that's important to you right now because after today, or maybe you've already thought of some health related questions or concerns, or maybe your parents, supporters have some questions. So as we go through this presentation, you'll have some contact information, but we encourage you to reach out and talk to us, again, for anything that's on your mind, health related. So weekends and holidays, we are not open. So if you're wondering, well, what do I do if I have an issue on a Thursday evening at 8 p.m. or maybe on a Saturday morning? The campus is conveniently located right next to the Geisinger Bloomsburg Hospital. So there is a convenient care, their version of urgent care that faces the campus. And then on the opposite side is the emergency department, which of course is 24/7. So the takeaway message is there is always access to care for you while you're on campus. All right, next slide. Thank you. So we function similar to a doctor's office at the health center. We ask that you call us and make an appointment. And I encourage each of you this morning to get that phone number into your contacts on your phone. When I talk to you all in person, I say this is a momism. It's never a problem until it's a problem. So if you wake up, you're not feeling well, or overnight, you're not feeling well, in the morning, you give us a call around 8 o'clock when we open. Earlier is better, and schedule an appointment with us. As you can see on the screen, we do have in-person and telehealth. Telehealth has become a real thing with the COVID-19 pandemic. And I think we're going to continue those appointments as appropriate. But of course, we will have in-person again this fall. The reason that we discourage walk-ins is because, quite frankly, you outnumber us. So in order to keep us running efficiently and effectively, we do function with appointments. In terms of our staff and who takes care of you, we do have a physician who's our medical director. She's with us roughly 3 days a week. We have 3 nurse practitioners and are adding a 4th who's with us all day. Then our triage nurses, our health and wellness educator, Christy, who you just heard from this morning. And then of course, our front desk staff who keep us running. So, and also in terms of appointments, before I forget, we encourage you when you come to Bloomsburg in August to call us and think about like a well visit, how you go to see your provider once a year, even if you're not sick. Come and meet us, come and see us, bring us any paperwork. If you have any health issues or things you want us to put in your chart, let us get updated with your medications and your allergies. We encourage these visits when you first get here so that you have some level of comfort if you do need to come and see us during the course of your time here at BU. Okay, next slide. Thank you, Christy. All right. So in terms of our services, think about basic healthcare, health promotion, and preventative health education. And as Christy mentioned earlier, we do ask you to continue to keep your relationships with your primary care provider, but also your specialists. So for our students who have chronic illness, mental health, we want you to keep your appointments with them, to think about in the summer months, because healthcare today, of course, dictates that you have appointments scheduled out. So think about your routine appointments. Think about what you're going to do in maybe Thanksgiving break time or Christmas break between semesters. But let's pretend you have to have an appointment in September for whatever reason, or you have appointments monthly for your health condition. What I tell students is that you function in the same way that we all do in the adult world. You know, you are going to let your professor know. If you can actually schedule in advance, make it on a lighter class day. If you're going to miss a class or two, you let your professors know that you're going to miss class. And then just follow the syllabus. Some professors require documentation for missed classes. You know, you get a note, you know, documentation that you had a visit, and then you turn that in when you return. And of course, you make up any missed work that occurred during class time. So that's a little bit about how that works. For our students with those more complex health issues, those are the students that we particularly are interested in seeing during those first several weeks of the semester in that wellness visit piece, because it's so important for us to understand you and really you know, get ahead of any issues or concerns that you have. The other thing I wanted to mention is the health and wellness fee versus insurance. So the health and wellness fee, as Christy alluded to again earlier, is something that you'll see on your bill, and it does cover your visits to us. So what that means is you could see us 1 time, 5 times, or 25 times in a semester, and there is no copay. There are some small charges for certain, not all lab tests, and we do have a small pharmacy for illness related issues, you know, like antibiotics, inhalers. I'm trying to think, drawing a blank, but medications related to illness, not routine fills, is what I want to get across. But in terms of insurance, that is what you would need if you had to go across the street, you know, over top of Light Street Road to Geisinger Medical Center for any care. So maybe for an x-ray, or if for some unfortunate reason you have to go to the emergency department or to the urgent care. So we encourage you during the summer months, you and your parents, your supporters, to check with your insurance to see that it is in fact accepted locally at Geisinger. And, you know, just to explore some options and to discuss that with your insurance should you need to have any of those services. And also have a discussion. Sometimes it's good to have an outpatient x-ray versus go to urgent care versus go to the emergency department. So have those discussions during the summer in preparation for coming. And I hope you never need it, but it's just a good idea to explore before you get here. On the right side of the screen are just some ideas about first aid items to bring to college, because remember, you no longer can wander into the downstairs bathroom in the medicine chest if you're having a headache or your allergies are flaring up or you need to check your temperature. So just bring along some items so that if you wake up and you're not feeling well, you can get started, you know, treating your symptoms until you have the opportunity to come and see us. Okay, next slide. All right, so this is your homework for the summer. We ask that you go to our website. So that's bloomu.edu/health and click about halfway down the page on web portal login and complete the 6 health compliance forms. Some of it's just housekeeping, you know, privacy, permission for treatment, but 2 of them are particularly important. One of them is the health form, the health history form, where you give us a little bit of idea about you, your allergies, any illnesses that you have, you know, whether it be asthma or seasonal allergies or whatever it is. And then the other is the immunizations, which are so important. And we're going to get to that on the next slide. Let me just mention that the website, I also encourage you to explore it for local resources, pharmacy locations. Maybe you're wondering about receiving birth control, or just to explore it and see what is available. And then again, always know that you can reach out and ask us any questions that you may have. All right, so immunizations. This is what I used to emphasize pre-COVID, and these are still a thing. So what we've learned over the last year and a half is that infectious disease really does mean business, and measles, mumps, chickenpox outbreaks on a college campus are serious, not only for the person who's ill, but for the people who are exposed to that person. And what we want to emphasize is that you all, more than likely, many of you are properly immunized. The thing is, we don't know that because you submitted those immunizations in your K through 12 years, but none of that transfers to the college. So we ask that you go in, you put the dates in, and let us know that you are immunized in the event that we do have any one of these illnesses occur on campus. And, then a tetanus, if you cut yourself, you come in, it's so important. But the pertussis piece, there was an outbreak of that on our campus in the late 2000s, in like 2009, 10, in that ballpark. So we do, want to emphasize how important it is to enter your immunization dates. All right, let's go on here. Strongly recommended immunizations. Meningitis B is a newer meningitis vaccine that many students in this age group, we hear about it, but you haven't had a discussion about it with your primary care physician, because as you get older, you don't go to doctors as routinely as you did when you were younger. So one to consider talking about before you come to campus with your parents, your supporters, and or your physician provider before you come. An annual flu shot, we do give those for free in the month of October. So look out for that. Social media, emails, and there's large TV screens on campus that advertise. So you definitely will know when flu shots are coming. So again, take advantage of that if you're interested and you don't get it at home. And then of course, the COVID-19 vaccine. So let me just get to the next slide and we'll talk about that quickly. All right, so in terms of COVID-19, we at Bloomsburg University will continue to follow CDC and Pennsylvania Department of Health guidelines. What I can tell you right now is that we do strongly recommend that you get vaccinated for COVID-19. Being fully vaccinated means one of the Johnson & Johnson or two of either the Moderna or Pfizer vaccines, and that you're 14 days out from that second injection or the one injection of the J&J. And if you are fully vaccinated, what we know right now is that you will not need to quarantine if you're exposed to someone with COVID or strongly probable has COVID based on symptoms. If you yourself remain asymptomatic, meaning you yourself don't have symptoms, and you also will not have to participate in the routine surveillance testing. I also want to mention that our outside vendor that does do our surveillance testing, EMS, will have the Moderna vaccine available to our students during move-in week, and then of course return for the second shot. So just be aware of that. And by now, you probably also know about the scholarship opportunities that are available to students who are fully vaccinated. So there is one $5,000 for incoming students, and I believe it's 5 $2,500 scholarships available. So another reason to get in there, put your dates in, and then we also ask for documentation. That's part of being eligible to receive the scholarship. So you can either send it to us as a secure fax, the documentation of your dates. You can email it to us with that email on the screen, or of course you can mail it to us. We also strongly recommend that you keep a copy on your person of your vaccine card. And I always recommend taking a photo, because one thing I know is your phones will always, always, always be with you. All right, that's about what I have this morning. Our next slide just is again a recap of the resources that are available to you under your health and wellness fee. So again, reach out to us during the summer months, any one of us, during your time as you prepare to come to campus. And we are so, so happy that you are joining us here at BU. Welcome and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Well, it wouldn't be a Zoom meeting if I didn't try to speak when I was muted. So thanks Health and Wellness, and thanks to financial aid for that valuable information. And I'm going to share my screen again because it's time. Whoop, it's time for HOW groups. So we are going to, I think, sort you into breakout rooms with a couple of HOWs. Again, like I said earlier, we are going to give you the HOWs are going to give you some information about the different technology platforms that you use here on campus in your day-to-day life as a student. And they're also going to help you get connected with other students. So we do encourage you, if you haven't already, to unmute your mic and turn your camera on so that you can see some of the other folks in your HOW group and get connected with some other new incoming students. So I think those breakout rooms are going to open momentarily. And then you can join. So you'll be invited to join.
I just
your
opened
HOW
them.
groups. You just open them? Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
Kayla.
Mhm.
Okay, so right now you should be able to join your HOW groups, go and have fun and meet some other students. We'll see you back here for academic conversations and or your lunch break in a little bit. Button was on. So I see some folks are starting to filter back in. I hope that you had a good time getting connected with some other students and some of our current students with our HOWs, that you had some good information. I know that it can be a little overwhelming. Please understand that we are here to assist you. And if you have questions or need us to repeat anything, please just let us know. So we are at the point in the day where our academic conversations for transfer students are about to begin. They're scheduled for 11 o'clock from 11 to 12. So if you're a transfer student, you would take this URL. I think we're gonna pop it in the chat, or Kayla has already put it there. This link is going to take you to a page where there will be a bunch of links to individual. I can actually, maybe I'll try to, nope, I can't do it. There'll be links to individual departments. So you would click on whatever department your major is in and go to that room. So this link takes you to a collection of links, and then you want to choose the link for your major. If you are undeclared, you will be clicking on the link for undeclared, and that will take you to your advising session for that. So this link that's in the chat right now, our transfer students will be doing their academic conversations, so their advisement session from 11 to 12. So if you're a first time in college student, you get a little bit of a break right now. Go and grab some lunch, stretch your legs, and then join us back here at 12:30 for your advising appointment. So I see a question in the chat, what if you're a double major? I think, okay. If you're a double major, I'm not sure exactly where you want to go, Bailey. If you want to join for one major, make sure that faculty member who is in that room knows that you are not just in their area, but also in another area. And I'm sure they can get you connected and assist you with scheduling some classes. If it says to schedule an appointment, so there are some areas that do not have faculty representation today. So if you're scheduling an appointment, the contact information should be there so that you can reach out to a faculty member in that area and make that connection. So that person is going to help you schedule your classes and talk to you about what kinds of classes to schedule, how many classes to schedule. So if you're seeing something that says you need to make an appointment, that means that there's a faculty member ready to engage with you via email. You make an appointment with that person and they will help you with your course scheduling. And there are some questions flying by in the chat.
Yes, so I just wanted to address a couple things. So for transfers, transfers are students that have been in college before, not students that have taken college credits while in high school. So if you've actually attended college post high school, you're considered a transfer. Your academic conversation will start at 11 o'clock, so in about 5 minutes, but you will still follow that link that I've been posting. I'll post it once again. And if you are a first time in college student, you have a break until 12:30. I think who was it? Bailey, you asked about the double major.
Yeah.
It looks like you're in education, so I would go to the education major first, and then from there see if your other major is available. But that's the one I would go to first because they are definitely here today. And you're a transfer, so you would go at 11 o'clock. And then Aaron, I just saw, oh, Michaela took care of it. Yeah, so you would go to the academic conversation at 12:30, Aaron. And once again, follow that link that I sent and it'll tell you exactly where to go at 12:30 based on your department. Yes, Robert, if you're a first time in college student, you can leave and have a lunch break until 12:30. And once again, just because you took college classes in high school, that doesn't mean that you are a transfer. That just means that you are prepared. Good for you. That's awesome. But you would still come at 12:30. You're technically still a first time in college student because you haven't actually been in college post high school.
Actually, if you can't join at 12:30, you can look on My Husky to see who your advisor is and get in touch with that person directly. So you can book an appointment with that person to get you some assistance with your schedule. Kayla, I'm not sure if you can see.
Crystal, you are a transfer student, I believe. So why don't you go to the Deaf Ed ASL? But you could go to both. Those professors work very closely together. So if you're double majoring, I would probably go to the Deaf Ed Early Ed ASL one. But once again, you're going to be getting very similar information. If that one ends early, feel free to pop over to the other one.
And then Kayla, would you be able to send a link to find the academic conversations? I wasn't able to copy and paste it. Some people are asking about it again.
Yeah, Zoom's really cool and it doesn't let you copy and paste via the chat. So yeah, there's the link again. If you need anything else, just let me know.
Thank you.
Charles, you would actually use the link based on that tiny URL. So if you click on that URL, you will see all of the different departments and you will find the links there. You do not come back into this room unless you have questions. But your actual academic conversation, they're all on different links. All right, so transfers, you should be heading over to your academic conversation sessions right now. First time in college students, you are free to go until 12:30, and then that's when you will go to your academic conversations based on that tiny URL link. If y'all have any other questions, let us know. If you're unable to go to your session today because you have other obligations tonight, that's okay. Just let us know and we can tell you how to contact your department chair. But this is the end of our official orientation. Thank you all so much. We loved getting to know you today. Have a wonderful day.